Hello and welcome to Sports This Morning. I'm Cecilia Omorogbe.
I am Tayo Salam. It's great to have you join us again.
All right, we'll start with this one coming from Nigerian Women's Football League Premiership, precisely where the board have decided that match day 5 will be postponed because some clubs have not complied with the COVID-19 protocols that have been set up by the board.
Testing protocols to be precise and specific, and that's why those games will not go on as scheduled. We'll be getting more on that situation from the NWFL chairperson later on the show. Let's get on with it now and let's go to England, where it's Manchester United versus Liverpool again. This time it's going to be in the 4th round of the FA Cup.
And United fans are already saying that maybe FA don't even want them to get to semi-finals this time around, because that seems to be where they're faulty. I mean, last season they got to 3 semi-finals, right? Yeah. But this time, I don't know.
So
anyways, Liverpool is just waiting in the wings in the 4th round. But Liverpool are really not good when it comes to the FA Cup.
Yeah, they're not the best, but it's still a very competitive matchup. Trust me, United fans would rather meet another team this early in the competition. Let's leave our football and let's go to the NBA. Cecilia.
I mean, it was a staunch one for the Portland Trail Blazers. They recorded their 3rd straight win, but then CJ McCollum was the one who decided with that clutch. Just how many seconds remaining?
Just a few seconds,
left
on the clock.
And they had that nail-biting shot.
Yeah, yeah, for the Toronto Raptors, heartbreaker yet again. For them, for the 2nd night in a row,
losing by 1 point.
And
I mean, what is wrong?
It's a bad break, another bad break, just the way Nick Nurse described. It was some pictures are coming from that game. Cecilia, it looks like the guys behind the scenes want us to go straight
to the game.
And that's what we're going to do. CJ McCollum, like I said, scored 30 points, including the go-ahead jumper with 9.6 seconds left to give Portland a 112-111 victory over the Toronto Raptors. Celebrations at the end there. CJ McCollum, the game winner. Pascal Siakam tried his absolute best to help the Raptors get this one over the line. It wasn't enough.
He had a double-double on the night.
Triple-double, as a matter of fact. First triple-double of his career amounted to nothing. For the Blazers, they also got serious help from CJ, what's his name? I said CJ. Damian Lillard.
Okay, all right.
Damian Lillard was great on the night, 23 points.
23 points.
Carmelo Anthony, 20 points
off the bench.
There you go. The veteran still playing amazing basketball, despite the fact that he's almost 2 decades in the NBA.
It was just how they were able to overcome that 17 points deficit that really was overwhelming, because, I mean, I actually pitied Pascal Siakam because his first career triple-double, 22 points, 13 rebounds, and 10 assists, and there was nothing to show for that.
So
I mean, there's something really, really...
Okay. No, seriously, they haven't started well this season, but we've seen in the last couple of games where they just let the game get away from them. Same thing happened yesterday. Like I said, they were leading by 17 points, and somehow they allowed the Blazers come back and stun them with that, jumper from CJ McCollum. And I saw that last possession. It was being guarded by Fred VanVleet. Fred VanVleet and CJ, come on, that's a mismatch all day long.
It's easy, you know.
You just put a move on him, and Fred just couldn't handle CJ's offense, and that's how they ended up losing that game for the 2nd straight night by points. Of course, this guy is, of course, the camp of the Blazers are very, very happy that they managed to pull the chestnut out of the fire. Let's listen to the key players, the coach, Terry Stotts. We're going to listen to Carmelo Anthony as well, and CJ McCollum.
It's terrific, and especially down the stretch. You know, he came up with some big shots, obviously. I mean, he's kind of built for that type of game. He understands it and enjoys the moment.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, it's fun. Of course, you're gonna hear it, even more when there's no fans and it's quiet in the arena. But you live for those moments. You want that pressure on you. You want to make those. There's nothing like making shots in front of the opposing team bench as they screaming at you, as they yelling at you. So It felt good. I think I only scored 3 points in the first quarter, but I had a couple good looks. I let the game come to me, but when I get a chance to take advantage, whether it's a matchup, whether that's a catch and shoot three, whether that's a closeout, just take advantage. And I think I've done that consistently, and that's why I've been successful.
Yes, it's been successful indeed, and that's why the Portland Trail Blazers won that particular game. Like I said, for Pascal Siakam, it was his first triple-double. As a matter of fact, he had another opportunity to perhaps win the game, but his shot went in and out, just like it happened against the Golden State Warriors. So there's a couple of bad breaks now for the Toronto Raptors and the coach, Nick Nurse and Pascal Siakam. I was just trying to understand what's going on.
Shot makers, and they just made a whole bunch, there just wasn't any misses out of them, even on some pretty good defensive, rotations out, and they just hit one after another. I thought we were okay. I mean, we were still, offense bogged down a little bit, but we're still cutting pretty good for the most part. We got a bunch of cutting layups there late. So, I think we were, obviously we were tired. We played hard as heck 2 nights in a row. But I don't think, that was the case. I just think their big shot makers made a whole bunch there. And again, darn ball won't bounce our way, Doug. I think it's the 3rd game this year where one's gone in and out at the buzzer on us that hopefully that's going to balance out as the season goes here a little bit.
No excuses. I was back-to-back. I think a lot of teams are back-to-backs. Finish the game down and if the shot goes in, it's another story. So.
All right, then, Pascal Siakam looking a bit subdued. It's understandable because after that incredible performance of 23 points, 13 rebounds, and 10 assists on the night, it just wasn't enough, wasn't meant to be for the Raptors in that very painful loss. All right, then. Let's
go to other games of the night, right? If we have that time, yeah? Other games of the night, of course. It's not just only the Raptors that were in action on the night, but then it was a painful one because of the manner in which they lost. That's why they actually one of the... Okay, these are your other results. You have 2 games postponed again. The Knicks and the Hornets, it was 88 and 109. And for the Memphis Grizzlies and the Cleveland Cavaliers, this was a different story because the Grizzlies were actually, at a point, they had to left kind of 16 points lead they had, going down the drain. But somehow they managed to win this one. For the Cavs, they failed to reach 100 points in how many games they've played so far this season. Not good enough. For the Bucks and the Magic, of course, where you have Giannis Antetokounmpo playing at his best.
He came back, came back from missing
that game, due to that minor back injury he had. Scored 22 points. And, of course, Chris Middleton also led the way with 20 points and 10 rebounds. So for them, they were able to return the Milwaukee Bucks to help, win that game against Orlando Magic. And the game between the Suns and the Wizards. The Wizards.
Finally.
Yeah,
3-game losing streak is over.
Beal,
it's good to see this guy on the winning side.
First home win of the season. Bradley Beal, 34 points. That was just... Devin Booker, he had 33 for the Suns. But Bradley Beal on fire. they had to hold on to be able to win this one. But Russell Westbrook is out. They're going to miss him for a while.
Yeah, I think he should stay out.
He's
got a better chance of winning without Russell.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I just said that. Nah, that's just,
that's
I'm not being serious.
76ers and the Hawks.
Anyways.
The Hawks winning. Short-handed 76ers because of the COVID-19 protocol in the camp and all that. But
So
they
they
struggled against the Atlanta Hawks and all that.
So there were also wins for the Blazers, like we said, and Sacramento Kings as well. Let's look at our top performers before we leave the NBA and go to our guest that was ready to talk to us. Gordon Elwood, like I said, is on fire right now for the Charlotte Hornets. 34 points on the night, 3 rebounds and 3 assists. This guy went to Charlotte looking for an expanded role, and he's doing just that, trying to make the Hornets a winning side game. The next guy,
Ball, you forgot me, was also
who's
there.
that?
Okay, LaMelo Ball.
Yeah, it's not
top performer, but then the guy
LaMelo. But he's
doing
playing
some good stuff. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, finished with 14. Yeah, all right.
Okay. Bradley Beal, of course, 34, 8, and 9. CJ McCollum is the next guy, 36 and 5 for the Blazers. And last but not the least, the Sacramento Kings Harrison Barnes, 38-2 in their victory early this morning. So congratulations to our stand-up performers in the NBA.
Okay, all right, let's quickly go to talk about the Nigerian Women's Football League. It was the first league that started and all that, when NPFL was still trying to how we going to get the teams together to play the season and all that. NPFL, they put everything in order, and they started.
And they started, but what are we having now?
Now?
We have a postponement.
Yeah, postponement. And the postponement is due to clubs not actually trying to cut corners in terms of obeying the COVID-19 protocols, testing protocols that have been set up. I mean, the story is that some clubs are actually bringing results from unverified centers by NCDC. So this is what the chairperson is really not happy about. That's why they had to declare that week 5 matches will have to be postponed in order to accommodate collation and validation of the COVID-19 test being conducted by the Premiership clubs. Aisha Falode will join us this morning to throw more light on this and why, clubs who would not meet the requirements may be suspended from the league. Good morning, Chairman. It's good to have you join us this morning.
Good morning, Cecilia. Good morning, everyone.
Yes.
And it's a pleasure to always be on channels this morning.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. I mean, the story out there, I mean, the release from NWFL board stated that clubs, I mean, week 5 games will be postponed. And people were trying to understand the reason behind this. I just talked about some of the reasons that was given and all that. I mean, clubs have been found wanting not to be able to comply with these directives. Why are they finding it so difficult to comply with these directives that was stated by the board before the game started?
We had a very long layoff from football.
Yes.
And during that period, we were in communication with all the clubs. And the media was also copied in our communications. Indeed, channels was always up to date as to the activities we were doing and the preparations we were making for the kickstart of the season. And before the kickstart, we had told them, we had shared with them the COVID protocol document that we expected all the clubs to abide with and put in place for the matches to start. One of those protocols was that the clubs must do testing, for COVID before the league kicked off. We got a report. They reported back 100% compliance, and that there was no everything 100% negative results. We took their words for it, and we started the league. But we also realized that this testing has to be continuous at intervals, just to be sure that the players are safe, the officials are safe, and more so when we now have this new variant of COVID, we needed to be sure that our girls are not put in any harm's way. So we decided again after the Christmas break that there should be another test, a second test in this case. But we began to see some things that were concerning and worrisome. The clubs were posting pictures online, and yet they were not sending us the results. They were not sending us the test results as we had demanded of them. They were also sending pictures to us. So we had to write to them again, stating what we had told them to do. Go and get your test done in a government-approved facility, in the COVID-approved facilities in your state. There are several of them in each state of Nigeria now. So nobody can say that we don't have any in our state. And we need to verify those results. The doctor has to sign it up. They have to put their telephone numbers. They have to put their email addresses, just so we can also review, evaluate, and then validate this result, calling these health officials where the tests have been done. Up till now, not one club has been able to give us this. I mean, the next best thing to do was just to say, look, we are going to put this league on hold until we are sure that the tests that we have are from sources that are approved by government, where they are from sources that are not doctored, they are from sources that can be verified, and they are results that we also on our own can validate. We also taking this result to health officials, government approved, that can also help to further validate this result before we can say that the league should commence, which is why we have had to postpone with 5 matches. And if we do not still get the compliance next week, we may have to also push and give a deadline. If we have any clubs that still do not meet this deadline after the second round, we may have to delist the club from further continuation. You know,
being a part of the league. All right, that's very, very interesting. And yeah, I mean, so what has the response been like since this postponement? Are you getting word from the clubs that they actually started to do the things that they're supposed to do in terms of the testing?
Well, we want to give them the benefit of the doubt to say perhaps they didn't understand the instruction, perhaps they didn't understand our directives, but although it was very clear that do your test in a government-approved hospital, send us the results, the evidence that these tests were done, the evidence that the results are correct, the evidence that these results were not doctored in any way. And what we have had so far are just pictures, and pictures, you know, don't tell us anything.
It's not concrete
enough. We need to see the document that has told you that you've tested these players, your officials have been tested, and that this is the result. And this result can be verified, you know, giving us the details of where these results were carried out, and so that we can also do our further checks.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to ask. I mean, going forward now, you already talked about the new variant, which is a lot more contagious, and all of that. So, what's going to be the standard protocol going forward in terms of the testing? Is it going to be daily before games? Is it going to be twice a week? What is the situation with that?
Well, for now, what we are concerned about really is to get this one, you know, out of the way.
Out of the way, okay.
Going further, we would have to be doing continuous testing. How frequent, we will have to determine that. It is not something that I can take off now, but you can be sure that we will be doing frequent intermittent testing, you know, as required by the COVID protocol. And also, we must understand that COVID is here. We want people to take personal responsibility. Take personal responsibility for your safety and for the safety of the other person. You travel across Nigeria. You are meeting with other players, meeting with other officials. If we have one positive case, then we may have to review. COVID is nothing to be ashamed of. It is not a disease that is abominable. It's a global disease. It is. We have been told how to make each other safe, and the protocol to put in place to make sure that if infection is minimized.
Yes.
Where we cannot eradicate it, where we can have control of it, and if we do this testing and we find that there are some positive results, we know what to do. We will evaluate. We will quarantine. We will isolate. The league can go on break for a while until we do another test where everybody will now be proved negative. Then the league can continue. No life is what puts at risk for football. And this is what we are trying to make them understand. We must not play football by all means. Health and safety is of paramount importance. It takes precedence much more than any other thing.
Yeah, you're spot on, totally correct, absolutely spot on, Chairman. We need to go on a break now. We'll come back, we'll continue this conversation. Join us again.
Oh, it's the secretary, Hakim Rabiu Okikio. Rabiu Okikio. Hakim, A-A-W-F.
welcome back to Channel Sport this morning. We still have Aisha Falode, the chairperson of the Nigerian Women's Football League Premiership, talking to us this morning about the postponement of Week 5 games because teams have refused to adhere to COVID-19 testing protocols. Let's continue this conversation. I mean, just saw highlights from one of the previous games played right here in Lagos, and I spotted quite a number of fans in that game. And I mean, of course, the law still states that no mass gatherings allowed at these stadiums or any sports venue for that matter. What are you going to do, or what are you going to do going forward as about the fans in terms of keeping them away from these players who must have been tested and obviously returned negative results, but then these fans, you don't know where they're really coming from. You don't know their status as well.
You see, there's we cannot be at every game. We cannot be at every game to enforce this protocol. All we can do is to keep talking about it. The fans that you have seen in the stadium are negligible. They are fans of that follow the team. These are not fans that are spectators. They are a handful. COVID protocol still says we can gather, as many as 50 people with a marginal, increase. But we keep, we have kept preaching the message to the clubs that empty stadium is still the best for us. So to keep the players and officials safe, even when you have where you have the fans in the stadium. If you notice, we have, the clubs have tried as much as possible to be sure that there's no contact between the fans and the players. And this is the message we still continue to preach. See, there's a part for every one of us to play. I can wear my mask, I can wash my hands, I can, social distance. If you are not doing the same, I'm still at risk. You are at risk, I'm at the next person is at risk. It's a chain. So we need to educate our people, just like we're doing with our clubs now, that look, if we have a case of anybody testing positive, the work we are going to do will be, it will be so cumbersome that it would have just been best to have, abide, by the
laid down guidelines.
Protocol.
Yeah.
The guidelines that were given, it would have been cheaper for everybody. If we have to now do, quarantine, isolation, contract history, it put the whole league in jeopardy, which means that what we are trying to do now is just to set the pace and set the standard, that the clubs must take personal responsibility. They must help us. They must help themselves. It takes it takes you and I for us to be healthy. You have to do your part. I have to do my part. I'm doing my part now by telling you what to do. And if you do not do it, I've told you there is sanction, there's consequence. If you have, if you've submitted a result that if we verify that that result was doctored in any way, we are going to delist you from the league, because that is deception. You have deliberately put some players at risk. You have deliberately put officials at risk. You have deliberately spread contamination of COVID. These are serious, serious consequences. And the clubs must understand this, that the COVID is real. COVID is transferable. We have been told how it is transferred, and we have also we've been told what to do not to transfer it. So the onus is on us. It's on you, it's on me, it's on everybody to keep each other safe.
Okay, a final question from us before we let you go. How sustainable it is for the clubs? We know that we have some private clubs in the league and all that. I've spoken with the owner of Dream Stars. FC Robo also has some of those clubs, owned by private individuals. How can they carry out testing regularly? Because Dream Stars said they carry out testing before each game. That's what they do, and they spend over ₦1 million, once they are carrying out each testing before a particular game. How can this be sustainable? And will the NWFL board want to assist, or maybe NFF or the sports ministry, in helping out with some of these clubs who don't have the financial buoyancy to actually carry out this testing regularly?
You see, we want the clubs to be very, very aware of the claims they make sometimes. a club cannot tell me that they've been carrying out COVID testing every week before each game. That is it's just not possible. It's not possible. If they carried out a test, where are the results? If you carried out the test, where is the proof to show that you carried out this test? I just told you now that the directives was given, not one club has sent to the NWFL Secretariat the results of the test that they did. They have sent us pictures. Pictures are just what they are. They are visuals that you look at and, it doesn't tell you anything. It doesn't validate anything. It doesn't give you what you want.
Okay.
So if a club is telling me they've been doing testing every week, and I'm telling you, go and do this one, and you still have not submitted results, and we have had to postpone matches, we've had to postpone 1 week of matches because there has been no compliance. If you have been able to do it weekly, why not this once?
Okay.
So from this point on, we want the clubs to be very, very aware of the claims they make. Because from now on, we are going to be validating these claims and also doing our own extra checks. We know that it will be cumbersome on the clubs to do weekly testing, which is why I answered the question initially that even though we are going to be doing intermittent and frequent testing, we are going to have to do it in such a way that it is convenient for everybody. Convenient in the sense that we are going to look at the financial implications. We are going to look at how best, to do it and keep the players safe. I mean, if you do it once and you abide by the protocol, it is still, it is still the duty of the clubs to stick and abide with the protocols. If you stick and abide with the protocols, the infection rate, what we are trying to avoid, would be successful.
Yes.
But where you are nonchalant, you think you can, there's a way, you can find a way around it. No, you cannot.
Okay.
You cannot.
All right.
And this I am promising, they must do the needful. They must do the needful.
All right.
They have between now and the weekend to send us those results, and we also have we have to have the time to validate this result to be sure that what we have is what it is.
Thank you so much, Chairperson, for taking our time to talk to us this morning and throw more light on the issues concerning regular testing in the Nigerian Women's Football League Premiership. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me. Please keep safe and healthy.
Thank you. You too.
All right. So serious stuff. I mean, she sounds. I mean, you've got to take it serious.
So emotional, yeah.
You've got to take it serious. And the clubs that are claiming that they do daily or weekly testing, where are the results? So what do you have to show?
What is important.
What's the proof?
Not just pictures, right?
Exactly. So hopefully all those teams are, start
I'm
complying.
surprised. We have big clubs, Rivers Angels,
Delta
Queens, owned by government, and these states have money.
And they are some of them have testing facilities as well.
So they can easily tell the players, go there and do this testing and send the results down. It's easy. I think it's just maybe nonchalant, as she mentioned. That's the problem with some of this.
Can't be nonchalant with a virus like this.
That's the only way. Post pictures online, no result to show for it. That's the biggest problem.
Let's get on with the show.
Yeah, you guys can talk to us on our Twitter handle what you think about Nigerian Women's Football League and the stands they're actually taking. I mean, week 5 have been postponed. We've been enjoying the games played so far. Hopefully clubs can really comply for us to see more goals and all. Someone like Money Gift has already scored 4 goals this season. We've seen lots and lots of goals and good games and all that. So we just want to continue saying that all the clubs have to do is to please comply so that some of us can enjoy good football, so that the league would not be suspended because of, some clubs who are nonchalant concerning the COVID-19 protocol. Also talk to us about the draw of the FA Cup. Liverpool and Manchester United, I mean, that's a big one. Manchester United had to face Man City in the Carabao Cup. They couldn't cross the hurdle of the semi-final yet again. But now in the 4th round of the FA Cup, they will be facing Premier League champions, Liverpool. That's so sudden. So
again, back to back.
Again, back to back.
Yeah.
They're having a game this weekend,
Sunday,
right?
Yeah.
And then they play
nice.
FA Cup.
Nice.
Ole, well, it's going to be a big one. So talk to us about that on our Twitter handle. And there's so much more about that. But then,
say that again. So many other, of course, other fixtures and draw about United and Liverpool.
Of course, that's what
going to
gets
get
us
us
talking.
A lot. Our guest is waiting to talk to us now about the FA Cup, the Premier League games that will go down later tonight as well. I am talking about Bada Akitunde Johnson joining us from Lekki. Bada, good morning. Thanks for joining us again. Bada. All right, then we're still waiting for a proper connection with Bada. But before he joins us, let's just give you the fixtures, selected fixtures from the FA Cup draw, 4th round that was made yesterday. There you go. Those are the fixtures: Cheltenham, Man City, United, Liverpool. You have Southampton, Shrewsbury taking on Arsenal. So whoever wins that postponed tie between Southampton and Shrewsbury will take on the Gunners, defending champions of the competition.
14-time champion.
Yeah, you can say that again. Wycombe will take on Tottenham. That's a very interesting fixture indeed. There's also Fulham, Burnley, Sheffield United versus Plymouth, Chelsea, Luton, and West Ham versus Doncaster, and Leicester, Brentford, Everton, Sheffield Wednesday. Bada, good morning. Thanks for joining us. Let's just dive straight into it. United and Liverpool meeting yet again, this time in the FA Cup.
Morning, Tyler. Morning, Cecilia, and good morning to the viewers. The magic of the FA Cup throws up this very exciting fixtures, but we couldn't have been expecting that the heavyweights would be going head-to-head so early in the 4th round. It's United, it's Liverpool, the 2 most successful sides in English football, squaring up just a few days actually after the league clash between them, which happens this weekend. So, I mean, that's a standout fixture without a doubt, but it's not one that both of them would have relished when Peter Crouch pulled out the balls from the pot yesterday. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer must have grown a few more strands of grey. Because the FA Cup, if you ask me, represents one of the best opportunities for him to win a trophy in his time at Manchester United. Maybe add on to that the Europa League, which they have dropped into now, which obviously they must be fancying themselves to win. But if you have a game against Liverpool, make that 2 games in about 2 weeks, you've got to be scratching your head and wondering how you're going to go through that. Minimum expectation obviously would be beat Burnley tonight in the league, establish a 3-point gap, maybe hold them in the league, and then go beat them in the cup. But it's easier said than done. On paper, it would look like, Liverpool not been firing, haven't exactly been themselves in the last 3 games. So United should have a chance. But you know how Liverpool are for these big games. They're always up for them. And if they do bring their A game, Liverpool looks like that side. Liverpool is that side that actually can, beat this United team, because they've got great intensity in their play. On their day, they can sustain that intensity over, a long period of time. They are not the kind of side that gives you too many chances in a game. So United, typical counter-attacking side these days, at their best when they're, on the breakaway. Liverpool has all of the pace, intensity, and energy, the Hendersons, Gigi Wijnaldums, to shut down those channels, those attacking outlets, and make it incredibly difficult for the pace of Martial and the likes of Rashford to worry them in behind. But then again, for the fans, it's absolute bliss. I'm looking forward to this particular game in the Cup, and I do believe that whoever wins this does have a chance to be considered, favorites to go on and win this particular season's FA Cup. Obviously, Arsenal, perennial, champions in this particular competition, will have 1 or 2 things to say about that. But standout fixture, everyone looking forward to it. Hard to say who the favorite is. We'll see what their form looks like going into that particular week of the cup game.
Right then, so let's just relax a bit. Before we go to those 2 games between United and Liverpool, there's a little matter of Burnley. Later tonight, you mentioned it already. Let's get the pre-match thoughts of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and we'll come back. We'll get your own reaction to that. But,
Trained well when he's been banned. He's had a couple of days off, of course, as well. You can't train too much, but he's ready to go. He gives us a different option. It's a different type of striker or a forward than Mason and Anthony and Marcus. So I'm glad to have him back. We are better off this season than compared to the same time as last year. We won more games, we've scored more goals, we've played better football. So of course that's a positive. And but as I said, no one remembers January league tables, and for us. It's just about developing this team, improving. I think we've shown again that we can bounce back after a disappointment. I thought the lads who played the FA Cup game showed good character, good attitude, and quality.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But the last time United faced Burnley was at Old Trafford. Burnley won that game 2-0. But in the past 5 visits to Turf Moor, they are unbeaten, 4 wins and 1 draw. How do you see this one playing out tonight against Sean Dyche's side?
I think that United play with a bit more freedom when they're away from home, when the expectation really is not that they dominate the game. Even though this Burnley side is a different proposition, they are not ashamed to concede possession to the other team. That's how they play. That's their unique style. So it's about the physicality. It's about those long balls into the box and how well United defend them. But United will definitely create chances. And because of the form that they take into this particular game, they've got to be favorites to win it. I fully expect that, again, because of the layered on incentive of beating Burnley and going 3 clear of Liverpool, United will be up for this and they should be able to do the business. But like I said, Burnley at home, they're always a threat. They would keep lumping those balls into the box. They will keep trying to win the first balls and the second balls, getting those, knockdowns for their big strikers to profit from. So how well the Maguire and Lindelof, or Maguire and Eric Bailey are able to deal with those balls and limit Burnley to the barest chances possible will be dependent on how well they can then go on the other end of the pitch and capitalize. But as much as this looks like a potential banana peel for United, I actually do see them running out quite easy winners in this one.
Okay, we have other games for today, apart from the one between Manchester United and Burnley. We have Sheffield United will be up against Newcastle United, of course. Wolves and Everton will also be in action. Now, for Sheffield United, they haven't won a game in 17 matches. They have just 2 points from 17 games they've played so far this season. A very, very bad record they're having. And against Newcastle, who recently have been floundering, how would this one pan out? Maybe can Sheffield actually record their first victory of the season, going by the fact that they were able to get a result in the FA Cup?
They got their first win of the season in the FA Cup.
In FA Cup, yes.
Against Bristol.
Yeah, that's not Premier League. So, yeah, that might just be the springboard. Spring is already in their steps right now. Okay, that might just be the springboard for them to start winning again. Can they maybe shake this one off and get their first victory in the Premier League this season?
Well, Sheffield's luck at some point is going to turn, but I think that there's too much damage that has been done by their start, the woeful start to the season. It's too much damage for them to turn around, but I think their luck is going to turn at some point and they'll win a couple of games. It's just not going to be sufficient to keep them up. And this game, like you quite rightly said, has the look of, that game that they could win about it. Newcastle haven't exactly been good ever since they got decimated by a couple, high-profile coronavirus cases. Their captain, Lascelles, actually just came back after having a long while against Arsenal in that FA Cup game. Maxim, the French guy, is still out. Still suffering long-term effects of coronavirus. But the team in itself, is not playing well. I just look at them and I see very useful players that are not exactly delivering on their potential. Matt Ritchie is always going to be, a weapon for a team like Newcastle United. Of course, a lot has been said about their Brazilian non-goal scoring striker, as I like to call him, who just doesn't really do enough. He's got the field, he's big, He's got the skill set, but doesn't exactly do it. So I think Sheffield will look at this game and feel like if they have a real go at Newcastle, they actually can get their first win of the league season on the board. And so I feel like they're going to go for it. I fancy that the worst result Sheffield will get from here is probably a draw.
Okay. All right. But we'll still get back to you, but that will be after this break. We'll continue our discussion on the Premier League and also what Arteta is saying concerning how players can actually respect the COVID-19 protocols. Yeah, but you're still with us. I mean, Arteta just talked about the fact that it's difficult for players to really control their emotions. And part of the COVID-19 protocols is that players are not supposed to celebrate together, hug each other, or embrace each other and all that. But then, how do you control that, especially after scoring the winning goal?
It's a very unnatural thing to ask of not just players, sportmen naturally. You win, you score a goal. The natural thing to do is to celebrate. And when we're saying that that's unsafe, and we've got to recognize that there's a need for a new kind of behavior within the circumstance or in that context, then you're asking for people to begin to learn an unnatural thing. It's going to take a while. It's going to take time if it'll ever happen. But then again, there's a recognition of the fact that football is quite privileged in this period, especially in the United Kingdom. There are very few persons, except, of course, essential workers, who are able to still practice their trade. And I think that beyond how people celebrate on the pitch, the greater focus should be on the guys who are flouting COVID rules and regulations, the guys who are still having parties, who are still going out and mingling with people and not members of their families. It's more of that. I don't know that anyone has contracted this virus by celebrating a goal. These guys are tested almost every week.
Yes.
It's when they're at home. It's when they're home that they have the higher risk of catching the virus. But if it comes down to players not celebrating goals, I hope it doesn't, because already the fact that players and managers have to wait a minute when a goal is scored to check VAR already steals something significant from football. The spontaneity of bursting into a wild celebration when you score a goal is already out, and it takes something from the game. It's already bad enough we don't have fans in the stands chanting, screaming, singing. If you take this element away again, it just further diminishes from the experience of watching football and enjoying it. So I hope it doesn't come to that, but if it does, I hope it's for a while. The vaccines are being rolled out now in the UK. I hope that in the next few weeks, it does get to the players, everyone gets vaccinated, and we can worry less about, asking people to do what's very unnatural. You and I have played football even as kids. When you score a goal, you celebrate. I mean, how do you score a winner, for instance, a last-minute winner, or an equalizer in the last minute? And you're just standing still and waving at people. Or, I mean, what are you supposed to do? I don't understand it. I mean, you've got to celebrate. Or do you run in a direction and your teammates run in a different direction?
Run away from your
just to avoid body contact. It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
I'll ask like Ian, just go on your own and celebrate and put your hands up and all that and clap, and that's it. Thank you so much, Bada, for sharing your thoughts with us once again this morning.
Thanks for having me, Cecilia.
All right, stay safe.
All right, Bada, thank you. Before we look at the papers, just updates from the postponed match between Rivers United and Bloemfontein Celtic. That's the CAF Confederation Cup. We're now being told it's been rescheduled for between January the 22nd to the 24th.
24th, that's the weekend of January 22nd, 24th. That's more like almost the last weekend of this month, right? So, I mean, it's going to be at a neutral venue, according to what we're hearing from CAF and all that. So, for Rivers United, I know they will not be happy about that, but Bloemfontein Celtics from South Africa, and because of the COVID-19 protocol in Nigeria and all that, how they have to quarantine and everything, so it's going to be hard. But then CAF have decided that, look, they won't forfeit the game, but this game will be played the weekend of January 22nd to 24th. And what we're hearing is it's going to be at a neutral venue. So Rivers will have to leave Nigeria to go to a particular country to play against Bloemfontein Celtic. And they're supposed to have the upper hand because they went to South Africa. I mean,
they got 2-0 lead already.
2-0 lead already. So, I mean, you're now going to a neutral venue without it. Okay, if they can win away at the home of Bloemfontein, definitely they can win when they're playing anywhere.
So
It could be in Benin Republic or Togo or where.
Yeah, what you're saying is that
Rivers are equal to the task.
Yeah, they should be equal to the task, and you seem to be talking about the advantage being taken away from them. But what else? What's the other resolution to this matter? We are very strict.
Fountain setters can come in early and do the necessary procedure, quarantine and all that, and then the game go ahead. That's as simple as that.
Yeah,
okay, look at the papers right
straightforward.
now. It's straightforward. Come early into the country and just undergo the necessary protocol and everything, except flights from South Africa have been banned. I'm not aware of that yet. Okay, let's take a look at the papers right now. I will start with Sporting Sun. And Sporting Sun here, Neymar returns from injury. Hands Pochettino a major boost from injury or from party. Okay, but he returns from injury and Carmen Lewis suffers hamstring injury. I mean, Everton would not like this one
that's
at
not
all.
good news at all.
Man United will do business, will do January business. Okay, that's what they're targeting. And did it surpass will surpass my EPL record that's coming from Mikel Obi.
What's the record?
What Leicester did to them wasn't good. I think how many games or something, games they played. I mean,
appearance record,
I think that's what I'm thinking
it's on
about.
pace, yeah?
Yeah, and current raw defense, Osimhen, over recklessness. Really? Okay.
Yeah, you might need to read that story to see exactly
what he said, yes.
Complete Sports is our next paper talking about Osimhen. His latest COVID-19 test still returned a positive result that was officially communicated to everyone by Napoli yesterday, and we're told he's going to do another test this week. Hopefully that returns negative, and he's learned his lessons as well, not to flout the COVID-19 protocols and rules. Still on Complete Sports, Aziz Six's first La Liga game in over 100 days. That's for Aziz in Spain for Granada.
Okay.
Cahill says Victor Moses is a class guy.
Okay, the last one, Sporting Life here. Messi trains after overcoming hamstring problem. That's Sporting Life. Yes, Ancelotti insists Everton will continue to celebrate goals. Okay.
Yeah, continue.
Social wants players not to get complacent. That's a good one. I'll just read two tweets before we leave the studio. One is coming from Dr. Ekene. It says that football is able to go on with all the COVID outbreak is a privilege for all sports lovers. As a doctor, I will always advocate for public health emergency, even if it has to change how we celebrate or how we view the match.
That's a fair point.
Very fair point. I mean, you have to. And Noble Flyerman says, we are never lucky with domestic cup groupings. Liverpool again, just like Man City a couple of days ago, but Ole will make history by beating them this Sunday. And at the FA Cup, we'll also get the win at Toughmore tonight. Okay, so well done to Aisha Falode for being able what she's doing with the Women's League and also to us in the studio. We're tired. We have to leave the studio now. Business Money is up next. Yes. Thank you guys for watching. I'm Cecilia Omogbe. Have a great day.
I am Taya Salam. Catch us again tomorrow.